focus on training had switched a long time ago from two-person application drills to the 3K system: kata, which is patterns; kumite, which is sparring; and kihon, which is line work. So those three became the major constituents through which people understood the applications of karate, and consequently we inherited the applications of karate, so the applications of taekwondo. One of the misnomers was that the blocking took place at a really long distance, and this is due to the introduction of set sparring. Now, set sparring is seen as a traditional pursuit within taekwondo, so it's sacrosanct. We can't remove it. The general taught it. General inherited it from the Japanese, and they taught it. But it only doesn't go back as far as the kata go. It doesn't go back hundreds of years. It's a relatively new pursuit. It was developed in the 1940s by people who clearly didn't understand the nature of real violence. It was also predicated on the idea of sword fighting, which is why the engagement distances are so great, because the guy has a sword and you are outside of their engagement distance. You then step forwards with the sword, with one decisive blow, and the person that's defending is able to step backwards out of your engagement distance and block that. So look, I'll show you. A typical set sparring routine starts like this. So I will go back into a long stance. Jack will stand there like that. Jack's going to do a middle block. I'm going to do a middle punch. Jack's going to do a middle block with his left hand, or right hand rather. And I'm going to tell him that I'm coming, warn him by doing a big shout, "Hey!" And then Jack's going to reciprocate. I'll step forward to punch. And as you can see, Jack has successfully blocked my attack. However, the problem is, I am still miles away from Jack. Even if we switch feet, and I do it this way, and he switches feet, and we're here, I am still miles away from Jack. My feet are where we would measure them in set sparring, but my hand is not able to make contact with him because I'm simply too far away. If the block is effective, and the measurement is effective, then I will be too far away. So the whole thing doesn't work. I warn him that I'm coming, even in when we do sort of set sparring without warning people, without the big shouts. Because of the nature of taekwondo, I develop a big deep sine wave before I come up and come down, and that allows him to know ahead of time that I'm coming. But this whole routine is unrepresentative of real life violence. You are never attacked by anybody at this distance. People who want to attack you and do damage to you usually breach this distance by use of stealth. They distract you, they come around the back of you, or a friend of theirs will walk around the back of you while they're talking to you. You know, you're still at a bus stop, they come up behind you, you're at a cash point, they sneakily come up behind you. You know, you can't attack someone from this distance, you have to breach the distance. And usually that's done by distraction or stealth, or usually when people are stood at this distance and attempting to fight each other, it's not a sign of consensual violence, it's a sign of people wishing to avoid violence. People going through a social display which is designed to allow one person to back down without being subjected to too much violence so that they get damaged or hurt and the two parties are held responsible. It's a phenomenon known as the monkey dance. It's a way of settling positions within a tribe that exists in pretty much all mammalian behaviour. Okay? The idea being that if we can settle our disagreement without resorting to too much violence, then he's still going to be useful to our tribe, to our group, and my position will be elevated, but it won't cost me someone within the tribe or ill-feeling within the tribe. Okay, a good person to read up on this is Sergeant Rory Miller. He's written a number of books on violence, and he picks up on the psychology of this in reference to studies on social behaviour by anthropologists, social anthropologists like Desmond Morris.